Welcome everybody to another episode of the Unquestionably Raw NBA podcast. And today we've got Alanna Tahauer, we've got Gonzo, and we have Kaylee Burris with us. We're going to talk about the OKC Rockets game, and then I'm going to go into some of the NBA rules that we have with traveling and fouls. I kind of have a rant, and I'm going to get everyone's thought on some of this stuff. But I'm going to start with you, Gonzo, on this OKC Rockets game. What did you see today that impressed you about the Rockets?
I guess that they just persevered. They just kind of stuck in there and they made the free throws down the stretch for the most part. They played good defense, especially when Russell Westbrook went out of the star lineup. I still have a lot of though these flat first quarters. They start out really, really slow. Maybe it's just that OKC just comes out with the rush and just kind of gets ahead of them early. They beat OKC, and you kind of really know their plan already is, get Russ out on the break. He's going to pass everybody else the ball early. In the fourth quarter and third quarter, he's probably going to take most of the shots.
So let me ask you this. From what you saw in this game, I don't know if you did, but I know when we did our preview, some of us, like I had the Rockets getting all the way to the conference final. Do you see the way they played? Because I think the argument can be made. I know Kaylee will agree. OKC could be up 3-1. It could probably be up. They could have won this series if not for fourth quarter execution. Your thoughts on that? What do you think? Could OKC have won this series?
Absolutely. If Russell Westbrook, and part of it is not really Russell's fault. I think it's a lot of bad coaching. Like tonight, McDermott, 14 minutes. He's probably arguably your best three-point shooter on the team. He's only getting 14 minutes. Enes Kanter, I understand he's a defensive liability, but the guy can put points up, especially when Russ is out. Sometimes you have to live with that risk. He shouldn't just be getting 3 minutes. And one thing that's really hurt them is that they don't have a backup point guard. They've always had a good backup point guard like Eric Maynor. They've had Reggie Jackson. They've had Deion Waiters. They're having it this year. So I know everybody says he has championship pedigree, but he was playing with LeBron, so of course he looks like he has championship pedigree.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to go to you next, Alanna. What did you think of tonight's game? Did you see anything that from the Rockets that makes them look scary or a threat to San Antonio or even Golden State?
Well, I think that the main problem with tonight's game, at least from what I was seeing, and I think this is the first time in a very long time or maybe ever that I've agreed with Reggie Miller, is that I felt like the Thunder, honestly, they didn't play with urgency until, the first quarter was good, right? So they had that done, and then they kind of just fell asleep for 2 quarters, and then at the end they kind of picked it up again. So I don't know if it was the Rockets necessarily pulling up all the stops when they needed to, or just the Thunder not doing enough. But you can't really stop Harden at this point. I know people can say what they want about him. He definitely has his downfalls like any other player, but he's incredible to watch.
Kaylee, what are your thoughts on what you saw? I know you're the big Thunder fan here tonight, so we're not going to rub it in. I promise.
Okay, because I might cry. I'm emotional, but I pretty much agree with Alanna. The second and third quarters, we were just extremely flat, except for Russell in that third quarter. He literally was the only person that did anything. I just sat there, and I'm just mind-boggled at the things that he does. Why can nobody else feed off that and that passion, the way that he plays? Everybody, third, Taj gets the ball down low and he just kind of flops it. And I'm like, go up hard. Why are you being so freaking soft? And they want to turn up and it's too late. And Billy shouldn't. I know he needs to rest. Westbrook was hot. I didn't like it. I understand it, but I didn't like it. But they just.
This is what I would have done. Like, I was watching the game with my dad, and he was like, I said, they got to rest him, because if you notice that last minute and a half or 2 minutes, every shot Russ took was short, which tells me his legs are gone. When they went up, I think, was it 7 or 8? Were they up 7 or 8 with like 2.5 minutes to go? Was it 7 or 8?
It was 7. I don't know. My satellite went out, so I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah. I know, because I know he missed the 2 free throws, but got the rebound, put him up 7. So I'm going to go with 7. With about 2 minutes to go, I think they were up 6. He should have sat him then. That's when I would have sat him. Because,
I thought you were talking about the 4th. Yeah.
No, that's when I would have sat him, and then he comes back ready for the 4th. He's fresh. Harden is sitting. Now maybe it's a tie game still, but you got Russ the whole 4th quarter. Instead, you sit him for 3 minutes. You see what happens. They're up 6 at the end of the 3rd. Boom. 2. But both of you are right with the coaching, and Billy Donovan, Gonzo said it too. Why is Doug not in the game? I know Doug did not get a shot off tonight, but he adds spacing to the floor. You have to worry about him and it opens up everything for Westbrook. When you've got, I know Grant's hit some threes, but he's not really a 3-point shooter, and he's
actually the best 3-point shooter on the team.
Grant going to finish a dunk on somebody he's missed?
Hey, he had this year.
Yes, I'm waiting for it, because he had some opportunities that are really, just fire up that Oklahoma City team, and I know he got fouled, but you got to convert those.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to stick with you, Kaylee, here, because what do you want to see this? Because now that they're out now, what do you want to see them do in the offseason to improve?
Point guard. Please. Yes. Please. That's what I need. That's what I need. Yes. That's what I need in my life. That's my biggest concern at this point.
I totally agree. I've been saying this for the last. That's what I think when Russ goes out. It's not so much that they're horrible. If you don't have a competent guard to get anybody in the sets, you're not going to do anything. And one thing I got to say also, Billy Donovan due to Enes Kanter's confidence. This is a guy who's in contention for 6th man of the year all season, and now all of a sudden he can't even make a layup. Come on now.
I don't like.
I think Kaylee made a good point though about obviously you do need a capable point guard to back him up, but it's beyond that at this point. I feel like everyone's energy, at least in this game, was so down that without energy and without that motivation, you could be the best player and you're gonna go cold, So that was, I don't know. That's something they need to work on. I don't know if that comes from the coaching. I'm not too well versed with this coach, but something was going on out there, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. What about you, Gonzo? What do you think this team needs to do in the offseason?
I think they need a backup point guard, and I think Russ needs a superstar he can play with. I think everybody looks at Kevin Durant and says that he wanted the easy way out. I think it's more the fact that he wanted to win. And sometimes the way Russell Westbrook plays, I guess Kevin Durant kind of figured he probably wouldn't win in this situation, especially looking at Russ in 4th quarters. But I would like to see them go out and get somebody, like I said, a backup point guard, get rid of Roberson and pick up somebody like a Paul George possibly.
Ooh, I think you got to keep Roberson.
Yes.
I like him. I think you got to keep him. I don't know, and Paul George would be a fit but he would have to sacrifice wanting to always have the ball in his hands. I don't think Westbrook can play much like Iverson. He can't play with another player who needs the ball like that. Kaylee's going to hate this. Draymond Green would be the perfect style player to play with.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Yes, you hate it. But he would be the.
I would rather lose 82 games than have Draymond on my team.
That's exactly how I feel.
Wow.
You got to understand.
Can't decide if I hate him or Beverly more. I would lose 82 games and have them on me. Screw that. And Beverly is a crybaby talking about, oh, he cussed at me. I sat courtside one game this year, and I was talking trash to him, and he cussed back at me. He was he was mad because he fell, and old dude was over him saying, F you, or you suck, or whatever it was. Get out of here. I hate that guy.
Yes.
My thing with Roberson is that, he can get a couple of open corner threes, and his defense is pretty good, but the guy's a liability when it comes to free throws.
Oh,
when you
he
need
is,
free throws.
that's not his game to get fouled and attacked. Like, I mean, if he could just get a consistent, 8 points a game, that'd be great.
But that's going to be a strategy when he's playing late in games. That's going to be a strategy late in games. They're going to foul him, send him to the line.
Mm-hmm.
And
2 for 21 is just 2 for 21. Pathetic. It really is. That's
sad.
A lot of it's mental, though, I feel like, because he was at one point, like, each year it's gone down. He started off, like, about 70%. I think a lot of it just is mental and the way his body language is when he's up there. It's like he gets nervous. If he would just relax, like, when he started hitting threes after the All-Star break and relaxed and just didn't, like, hesitate and just shot the ball. Like,
and that's his problem. His problem on his free throws. Yeah,
it's mental. And he's got, I think, Dre and Russ are really good together too, because you can see, Dre hit it or, shoot an open shot or whatever and just totally miss it. And Russ will go up to him like, keep shooting, man, pat him on the back. I think Russ is really good for his confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like watching, I was, watching really closely the last couple of days when I watch Robertson shoot his free throws, like there's no rhythm to it. He kind of goes down, he hesitates, he goes up, he hesitates. You've got to have rhythm on your free throws, and it looks really bad coming off his hand. It does. Like it looks like an air ball every single time.
Sean Marion shoot.
Here's the beautiful thing, though. If you've seen Michael Kidd-Gilchrist shoot a basketball, this guy was awful. He's a 78% foul shooter now. He worked on it. So it can be done. I don't think it's like with big men. I think sometimes it's a depth perception problem, like with a guy like DeAndre Jordan. But I don't think that's the problem for Robertson. I think he's just all mental. He's got to develop a rhythm at the line. They need to bring someone in to work with him in the offseason. He'll be fine. I think you keep him. You got to keep Taj. You got to keep Doug. They got to find a way to use him, though. I don't think they used Doug right. He should have been in there in a small ball lineup playing some power forward. I think
he just takes a while to heat up, but if he's not given that opportunity, then that's never going to happen, and then he's useless out there.
I mean, Alanna, you saw with the Bulls, Fred used him completely wrong.
Oh, well, what's new, though? Who doesn't
exactly.
He use
wrong? You have, I mean, this is a guy who shot, 43% from three last year. You got to use this guy right. He can actually play. And, I mean, he led the nation in scoring at Creighton, I believe, or was top 3. I mean, he can do some things in the post. You got to use this guy. And I think, and it's possible now with as deep as this draft is, maybe OKC can get someone in a draft that can help them out a little bit off that bench, because this is a really deep draft. Maybe you can make some, you can do a sign and trade, although I don't know who with Kanter. I think Kanter's a guy. Kaylee, do you want him back next year, or would you?
I love all my guys except for Kyle Singler. I would take a Snickers bar for Kyle Singler, but I love his passion for the city, and I love his passion for this team. I love his passion for Russ. Like, him and Steven went and made all those videos for Russ. I think he's good for the morale. I would love it if he could just work on some things. I think he needs to get a little bit better, like when he gets double teamed, to learn to pass out instead of just go up all the time, because he gets stripped a lot. I would love to keep him, but if we have to trade him, I totally understand. But I just love him. I love all the guys.
I think if anybody's a trade candidate in this team, if they're going to improve, I think Kanter's the guy, because I think you can get something.
I do too.
He's still young.
I know, it just makes me really sad because he loves Oklahoma City so much. And, well, he seems like it. Kevin said he loved Oklahoma City too. So, but I just really love Kanter. So
I think we can establish this. We have two people on this on tonight who absolutely despise the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I'll co-sign that.
Hey, everything.
And Byron would have been here tonight, but he's at church tonight. That would have been a third person who hates the Golden State Warriors. What is there to like?
I mean, I don't.
Oh gosh, Steph Curry, of course.
You know what's funny? I was doing some cleaning today, and I found an old T-shirt of his that I have, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, do I cut it up? Do I just throw it away?
You know what it is? Deep down, you two love Steph Curry. You just don't want to admit it.
No, like I actually physically
I
don't
liked him in
remember a
college.
time when I ever liked him. Like I don't know why I own that. Like I don't even know if it's mine at this point. Like I don't remember this period of my life. But now I absolutely can't stand him regardless. So
Damn.
He
I
just
understand.
makes like stop it, just please. That's what I want to tell him. And I want to take his mouth guard and I want to
that's
have
the
him choke on
nastiest
it.
habit I've ever seen.
Just his whole demeanor makes me cringe. I loved him in college. Whenever he won the first MVP, I was like, yeah, I was like real excited. I was like, that's a cool dude. And then once he won that MVP, I don't know what happened to him. Maybe it was Draymond rubbing off on him. He's disgusting. It makes me want to.
I think he's like any other great player. When they really start to get, they all get a little arrogant. Michael was arrogant. Allen
But
Iverson.
see, my problem with him is he pretends he's not arrogant. If you're arrogant, just own
Yes!
it. Like I love
Here's the deal.
LeBron, and I have no problem with his attitude. He pretends the whole team pretend like they're like golden boys. You know, like these goody two shoes guys who are like they're not nice. They're probably the douchiest team in the league by far.
But you know what though? By
I
all
agree.
accounts, you know, I you know, from everything you hear and from different people around, Steph Curry's actually a really good dude off the court.
You
Like,
can
he's
be a good
actually a
player,
really
and
humble
everybody
guy.
will
Talk
be-
about Russ.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I know. I don't know why people talk about him off the court. Russell Westbrook is an arrogant SOB on the court, but I love it. I have no problem with that. And you never hear anything about him off the court, which is a good thing. Same thing with guys like LeBron James. That's always, and with today's social media, if these guys were messing up, like look at Carmelo Anthony, we would know about it. So
that whole situation. I have so many thoughts.
yeah, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. That's not my. You know, I'm sure. Well, I'll let you know TMZ handle that. But I want to go ahead, Gonzo.
I think that the thing with Steph is that what people hate the most is they assume he's cocky, but the fact that Steph Curry's team, most of the stars are like Draymond, Clay, Steph. They're all draft picks. I think Iguodala. They ended up getting Iguodala on free agency because Denver didn't want him. So they kind of picked up a lot of scrap players, and they actually won a championship with a team that was pretty much made. They didn't really have a lot of superstars. They won that one championship that they won. They won it with nothing but draft picks and free agents that nobody else wanted. That's one. I think number two, that Steph kind of, what people hate the most sometimes, and I think is that sometimes, you know, people usually have a backstory, you know, like being great, like Deion Waiters.
Yeah, or Jimmy Butler.
Or Jimmy Butler. They have a really rough upbringing. Steph Curry is kind of different. He was raised in a two-parent household. He met his wife in high school. He went to college. He married her. They had children. It just seems almost like his life was perfect. The NBA now by storm, kind of with shooting three-pointers like layups. He's shooting them at such a high rate. The fact that he chews on his mouthpiece and he takes a shot and he turns around, puts his finger in the air. I think people will hate the good boy. You know, like
But he's
it
not
seems
a
like
good
he's
boy. That's the thing. Like that's what I don't like. He's like the whole thing is so fake to me. Like he literally makes my skin crawl. I have no problem. Your backstory is your backstory. I have nothing against like you know, it's not your choice what your upbringing is. That's totally fine. But he just has this whole facade, and I feel like the whole team has it.
You know what it is? Like I've noticed this, and Alanna, you know this more than any. Like everybody loved LeBron James, right? He went to the Heat. They became the villains of the NBA. I think it just happens when teams win. And the advantage the Spurs always had, they never won back-to-back. The advantage Michael retired and then came back and everybody loved him again. So it's like, but now you got Golden State, they got a dynasty. Everybody hated LeBron in Miami. Now the Golden State's the villains. It's just we gotta have villains in the NBA. You know, and the biggest villain
with the Spurs. I think with the Spurs, though, is that it's not so much the fact that he went back to back. I think it's the fact that the way Pop he emphasizes team. No, he doesn't emphasize the individual. Like as great as Tim Duncan was, you never hear the Spurs talking about Tim Duncan. They talk Spurs. They talk passing the ball to the open guy. You know, notice even after they make shots, there's no celebrations with the Spurs.
No.
It's get back on defense. Everybody has the straight face. We play basketball. We play hard. We go home.
And that's a good point because
Probably go home champions.
when LaMarcus Aldridge was in Portland, there would be little celebrations. In San Antonio, you don't see any of that stuff.
Not at all.
It's the Popovich way, or you sit. You sit.
Absolutely.
But before we get out of here,
I always like. I mean, it's frustrate me, but I think respectable organization, and I'm cheering for them now, and I hope that they win it all. You can't not like Pop because he's funny and he pisses you off, but they're not the way Golden State is or the way Houston was acting. Patrick Beverly is disgusting, but whatever.
And Popovich leaves $5,000 tips to his server.
That was
exactly
one of the most violent things I've seen in a while. Good for him, though.
I like that guy. I like that guy. But I want to get to something before we get out of here, because I've seen it all over Twitter. We've all seen it. The way games are being officiated now. I'm going to start with these fouls. The one that James Harden and Lou Williams do the most. And it started with Kevin Durant. And Kaylee, you know this because he did it in OKC. You put your hand out there, he comes up, and it's a foul. They changed the rule where it would not be a shooting foul. But now what guys are doing is your arms are out like you're taught to play D, and Harden will come up and he'll hook his arm under you, go up, he gets 3 shots now. And I think that just takes away from the spirit of the game. It's not a natural motion. And I think what we've done is by allowing the Kevin Durant to do what he did, it's a slippery slope. Now guys are smart, and I don't blame Harden. He's taking advantage of the rule. But Alanna, you know what I'm talking about, right? You saw it many times this series where Harden hooks you underneath. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, while you guys were talking about this earlier, I feel like it's hypocritical for me to say anything because Goran Dragic draws fouls like a champ. Like no one does it like him.
No. It's not singling out any player. I want the rule. Harden, Dragic, Harden. They're doing it. They're taking advantage of the rule, but it's a dumb rule. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can definitely see that, and I think it does take away from the game. It messes up the flow, and it puts extra pressure, I guess, for another skill to be developed in players having to figure out how to do that. But at the same time, the game, I feel like it's just ever evolving, and there's going to be stuff that we like and don't like. So I don't know. Personally, it doesn't bother me as much as it might other people. But I do. I mean, I definitely see your point.
Just a heads up. I work with young players on their skills and stuff, and that's why I think it just bugs the hell out of me because it's not a basketball play. I mean, I remember and everybody's if anybody who's played, they know when you're young, you do the drill. Your hands are behind your back. You're sliding your feet. You literally have to play like that now, and I think that's what bothers me. Any advantage the defender has completely been taken away by these rules, and that's what bothers me. What can a defense do? We saw it today. Steven Adams is standing in the paint. Harden just runs into him, fouling Steven Adams. When Roberson was coming around that screen, what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? He's fighting over the screen. You can't call that. That's my problem with it.
I think there's a difference in trying to draw a foul. Like some of them, I roll my eyes at, but I'm like, okay, I see what he's trying to do. But the one on Roberson, that literally blows my mind. Literally blows my how can you call that on Roberson? I don't understand. And all that does is mess with Roberson, and then it puts Harden at the free throw line and ruins our momentum. Whatever we have going, it's not.
Now,
they've got to fix things like that.
And also, I will say, I know you've watched this team a lot. Russell Westbrook does the same thing. Damian Lillard does it. And you know what I've noticed, though, when I was thinking about this today, because it was on my mind. It's really been bugging me for the last few days. The guys who do it the most are the guys Westbrook, Damian Lillard, James Harden. It's not like if you watch a guy like Curry, I know you guys hate him. You don't see Curry doing that.
I don't see Curry doing anything because it's not to watch those games.
But I'm using him as an example. I'll use JJ Redick as an example. These guys are pure shooters. It's not a natural shooting motion, and that is what gets me. These guys shouldn't be going to the line. It's absolutely a foul, but it should be a non-shooting foul. Gonzo, what are your thoughts on these absurd fouls?
To me, I think that a lot of these foul calls, this is just the NBA's way, to me, in my opinion, and I hate to use this word because the NBA has been competitive, rigging the game. And when I mean rigging the game, I'm not meaning choosing a winner, but a lot of these foul calls cause a lot of they're momentum killers. They completely eliminate defense. It's to the point now where you have to let your opponent score. They want a free-for-all scoring on both ends, on defense. And what I mean when I say momentum fouls, say on a run and they're on a 7-0 run and they're gaining momentum and taking a huge lead. Now James Harden comes down the court off a pick and roll, and he runs into Steven Adams, who's always standing there with his hands up. It's 2 free throws. Mm-hmm. He can do this on multiple thing over and over. And Steve Adams gets called for the same foul call. You know what that does now?
It happened 3 straight possessions down the stretch tonight.
Three straight possessions. And it's like almost after a while, it's like OKC is saying, what could we possibly do? I'm playing proper defense, hands straight up, and I'm still called for a foul, and he's still going to get free throw shots. That kills momentum on the offensive end for OKC now.
Absolutely. Now, I want to go into another thing that was a hot topic. I'm going to go to you first, Alanna, because I know you love this this coach here, Fred Hoiberg. You know, what he said the other day after the game. I love Isaiah Thomas. He's a warrior. He's a great player. But how can you guard him if he's continuing to discontinue his dribble? You cannot guard him. When you heard that, Alanna, what were you thinking? Sore loser, or does he have a point?
I mean, it's kind of twofold. I can't say he doesn't have a point, especially after seeing kind of like slow down footage of that. But at the same time, he should probably focus a little bit more on what he's doing and less on, trying to go against what wrongs might be coming his way. I feel like if you're playing a team of that caliber, they're gonna, regardless of what the call is, I mean, stars get calls. That's just how it goes. And sitting there and complaining about officiating is not really like productive in any way. But I do find it interesting that the NBA didn't fine him, just because, I mean, I guess the way he said it, was in pretty low-key mode.
He did it in a way where he didn't actually name the official. He didn't say the refs did this. They weren't called. He just
he kind of more put it on exactly, which I think was smart and probably deliberate. But I still I thought maybe he was going to get penalized for that. But yeah, I don't know. He has a point, obviously, but at the same time, whining about that's not going to help anything.
And I'm going to say this before I go on to the last rule that I hate. Where was the complaining after they were up 2-0, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Thomas was doing it the first 2 games. There was no complaints from Fred Hoiberg. I'm just saying,
Yeah, and I mean, what he should be complaining about is his own poor rotations. The fact that Robin Lopez barely played games 3, 4 were ridiculous.
And that Jerry and Grant and Michael Carter-Williams are actually on the court for 10 seconds or more.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a hot mess right now. I don't even know where to begin.
We could go on from. See, Kaylee, you should be happy. At least you have Russell Westbrook. The Bulls, I mean, they got Jimmy, but I mean, other than that, it's a mess. And your coach may be better. It's sad. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. It's true. It's true.
It's crazy because Donovan he outcoached Carlisle, Pop, Steve Kerr in the playoffs last year, and now I'm like, where's that guy?
Well, maybe there's hope he'll come back.
Yeah, you know what though? You know what really happened? So. When they went up 3-1,
Durant wasn't cuddling with Draymond in the Western Conference Finals, I think we would have won.
You know what I think? You know what I think really happened though, and I see it all the time. They went up 3-1. They go back to Golden State. I mean, most people probably expected the Warriors to win. They win at home. Now all the pressure is on OKC to close it out in Game 6, and it didn't happen. And now you blow it on Game 6, you're done. When they lost Game 6, it was over.
I don't know if you have seen me tweet this because you haven't been following me a super long time, but Kevin Durant was in Oklahoma City, inviting him to team dinners the game after he kicked Steven in the nut, like literally hanging out with him at OKC. And I know this because my friend's friend used to live with Serge Ibaka. I wanted to trade Serge. was a huge fan of Oladipo. Like I'm sorry, but everything this year is Kevin Durant's fault, and I hate that guy.
Yeah, that's as low as it gets.
Yeah,
You can't blame Draymond Green for that.
No, I'm blaming Kevin Durant. And Russell
yeah.
knew about it. Do you think Russell's gonna want to play with him in Game 6 and 7? No.
Oh no, that's the ultimate competitor right there.
Yeah, exactly. Russell, no.
Spalding here's the crazy thing. If that were Michael Jordan, and Alanna knows this, what he used to do to his teammates in practice, he punched Steve Kerr in the face because he wasn't going hard. Kevin Durant better be lucky he didn't play with Michael Jordan. That would have been a wrap. Kevin Durant he probably would have injured him or like shot him in the head or something. But yeah, I didn't know that. That's like, I get it. These guys are all friends, and I know it's a different era now.
And so much though since back in the day.
It's because all these guys play on the same team when they're in high school in AAU. They're all on the same team, and that's why you see the culture. Like when LeBron left Cleveland, I didn't have it. Guys get to choose where they go in AAU. They choose what team they go to college. They choose where they want to play, and if they don't like it, they transfer. So it is what it is. It's just a different culture now, and I can't really fault the players for that. And that's why the fact I think most people would have been okay with Durant leaving. It's the team he went to. It's because they beat him. Exactly. Had Durant went to Boston, it probably would not have been as big of a deal. But it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
I would be upset, but I wouldn't just rip his face off.
I saw a hilarious meme though earlier that was like some picture of Durant saying like, when you realize your team doesn't need you, they just need you not to be on the Thunder. I was like, this is so exactly what it is.
That's why I'm glad you mentioned this, because I talked about it just briefly the other day, and I got to go back to Golden State again here. I know you guys hate this team, but am I crazy for saying they're deeper this year than last year? Like, if anybody's watched, tell me Patrick McCaw can't do what Harrison Barnes did last year.
I honestly don't watch their games, so I have no input here. Like, I'm useless on this topic.
So once we get to the conference finals, though, Alanna, I know you're going to be watching. You're going to have no choice.
Watching, yeah.
You'll be rooting against them. Hey, as long as I get good basketball. But I want to go into this last thing, and it's what they call the gather dribble. So how it works, once you make your move, you obviously you get 2 steps, but your 2 steps don't count until the ball is in both hands. So you can literally make your move, the ball's here, you can take 2 steps, boom, you put it in both hands, now your 2 steps start. So Kawhi Leonard did it the other night. Like, defensive player, how can you guard somebody if you're giving these players 4 steps? Alanna, do you think we need to bring back the hand check?
Yeah, I mean, the common theme that I just have realized in this moment from you talking about all these rules is I feel like the game is so offensively heavy these days that they're kind of like just ignoring defense and just making it impossible. Yes. And even you have all these bigs now, right, that are expected to play as well offensively as on defense. So I don't know. I mean, it just, I guess it's the trend that the way that, the trend's going now in the league. I don't know. I guess everything just takes adjusting.
See, that's why. I'm okay if you're going to do that, but allow the hand check then to come back. You're taking any small advantage, because guys are too quick in today's NBA. These guys are phenomenal athletes. I mean, even your 10th guy on a bench. I mean, look at Phoenix. What's his name? The dude who was in the dunk contest. Like, that dude's a phenomenal athlete. You can't give a guy like that 4 steps. He's going to blow by you and dunk on your head. That's why you got to bring the hand check back. And that stupid Kevin Durant foul where, you have your happen if you're allowed the hand check. And then with the zone defense, you can't play a true zone in the NBA because obviously you got the defensive 3. Let them play a zone. Let these guys play a true zone. Let Rudy Gobert camp out and sit in the paint the whole game.
Yeah, I think if they're going to let them do stuff, there needs to be a balance to, counteract that.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to you're continuing allowing the offensive player to have an advantage, bring the hand check back. And if you're going to allow the zone, let Rudy Gobert sit right underneath that rim and protect that. Yeah,
because otherwise it just kind of becomes the All-Star game, just back and forth, like insane scoring.
Exactly. Kaylee, go ahead. I know.
Do what?
I was gonna say, go ahead. What do you got to say about this?
I'm a defensive like minded kind of person when it comes to basketball. I started watching OU basketball when I was like 12, and Kelvin Sampson was our coach, and it was Coach Sampson versus Eddie Sutton, and it was just a defensive battle. Like those games were just like 50, 60 points, and that's where so all this foul and all this crap just makes me so.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Yes, you've been watching since 12. I like it. Yes, yes. Gonzo, what are your thoughts on these absurd travels? Or the gather step?
It's ridiculous, and it goes to my point. And not to mention, I have to give credit to Scott OG because he posted something early on in the season about Kyrie Irving dribbling. Before Kyrie Irving even puts the ball on the ground, he's taking a step or two before he even dribbles.
Mm-hmm.
So the defender is already disadvantaged because I can't judge which way you're going to go because you could just take 2 false steps before you even put the ball on the ground and then proceed with a dribble. You've eliminated defense for me. You completely eliminated defense. Same thing with Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, Hoiberg, you should have complained about it. Game 1, carrying. He's been carrying his whole college career. Everybody's seen this already. It just amazes me that the NBA hasn't picked up on any of this. Or maybe they have, but they just don't care because this offense keeps basketball interesting. Keeps people paying the price for those tickets.
It puts butts in the seats. Like they always say, offense puts butts on the seats.
Because let's be honest, we have more casual fans of basketball than we have true fans of basketball. Let's believe that first.
True.
The average person is watching it for dunks. The average person is watching for dunks and 3-pointers. I go to work every day and talk with people about basketball, and I can tell just on they haven't seen one freaking ounce of the game. They're only quoting it.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone try to talk to me about Isaiah Thomas the other day and just kept calling him number 4 over and over again. And I was like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, I have to walk away. Like, it's unbelievable.
Well, that's why the Warriors, I'm sorry, why they have so many bandwagon fans is because they see Steph Curry and Klay Thompson shooting these ridiculous threes, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. No, that's two of the greatest shooters. Steph's the greatest 3-point shooter I've ever seen, but that's not realistic basketball.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots he takes, anybody else takes those shots. It's
as everybody knows, that knows me, Steph Curry's my favorite player. I've everybody know I've been a fan of his since his freshman year at Davidson. But when Mark Jackson said he's bad for the NBA, I get it. And working with young players, I work with kids that are in middle school all the way up to high school.
Yeah, they all just
and it will go watch what they do. I saw a kid, in Northern Illinois, Pecatonica, small town. My cousin, he's in 8th grade. He plays at a small school. But there's a kid there. He's a 7th grader in Pecatonica, and I'm watching this kid just shooting around. He's shooting half-court shots. Like you're 4'2" and you're shooting half-court shots. You're not Steph Curry. Like I get it's great. I love that. I've always liked the 3-point shot. And I think it's I love the way D'Antoni runs his systems. I liked his son's teams, but I think it's gotten to the point where these kids now think they pick up a ball, I need to shoot from half court. No. And it just develops bad habits. Not everybody is Steph Curry. I mean, anybody who saw the game last night, the shots he was hitting, he's the only one who can do that. Like, that doesn't mean anybody can just pick up. I know he's 6'2" and 150 pounds. So anybody can just pick up a ball and start shooting threes from half court with guys guarding them. So I get where Mark Jackson was coming from. But I think that's my biggest complaint of all these rules. It's like when you're a young player, you're teaching these kids to play the right way. NBA, like these things that Kawhi Leonard does, that I saw him do, that Harden does. You couldn't get away with that in a high school game. That's good. You're going to get travels.
That's what frustrates me about Harden's game too. Like I feel like these kids are going to grow up saying, "Well, I'm just going to do this, and they're going to give me a foul, and I'm going to get to shoot 3 free throws, and that'll be fine."
Reality will hit them real quick when they realize that that's not the case.
But we have to remember. I know, like obviously, you hate Harden, you hate Curry, all that stuff. we can't really blame the players. They're just taking advantage of the rules. It's not really their fault.
because Russ does it too.
Yeah,
And obviously I like Russell just a little bit. So, and Russ does it too, but it just sometimes it's just so excessive, and then some of the calls are just so absurd. It makes me want to punch a baby, and I love babies.
Wow.
Before I close this out, here's a nice stat. We all saw it in this series, 5 games. James Harden got fouled on a 3 9 times.
How many total? I'd like to know how many total. Probably about 63.
And here's the crazy thing about that. As you know, when you're playing, you're always taught as a young player, do not foul the jump shooter. Here's the thing. They're not fouling him on the jump shot. Every one of them, it's when he puts his arm up under, or when he's coming around that ball screen, he feels that contact and throws it up. Same thing with Lou Williams. He got 4 of them, so 13 times. And as a defender, they were just doing the right thing. They were playing the way they were taught. That's my problem with the rule. That's what it just... Working with my cousin, he's 14. If we're going to allow this, I need to start working with him on how to draw fouls and how to take 4 steps. If we're going to give gather steps, I need to start working with him on that, and he'll be unstoppable in these AAU games. It doesn't work like that when you're playing in high school, middle school. Even, do you watch a lot of college now? I don't anymore, but
I watch OU. I watch OU and a lot of Big 12 basketball. So
and you can't get away with that stuff. There is no gather step in college.
No. Well, if you're Kansas, you can, but we won't go there.
Yes. So you're not a big fan of what is it? Josh Jackson? Is that his name?
No. My team really was not very good. We had them down both at halftime, but whatever. It's neither here nor there.
They needed your guy. They needed your guy, Buddy Hield.
Oh, I love Buddy forever. He's the best guy ever. Except he's second behind Russell.
Yes. See, we got another Buddy Hield fan. Thank you.
Yes, for life.
Yes. Well, I think that's going to close it out tonight. I'm going to definitely be back tomorrow. We're going to talk Bulls and Celtics tomorrow. But like today, we talked about the rules. Tomorrow, I want to do something on stats. Like if anybody who follows me on Twitter, I put the question out there: are stats more important than the eye test? Are they equal? What ones? Because I've noticed we've come to a reliance too much, especially in today's NBA, on advanced stats, metrics, if you will. And I just for I think some people use stats too much. But before we get in, stats they give you they give you an answer, but they don't tell you why something happens. For example, player out of college. Well, this guy's a good shooter. But is he can he come off the screen? Can he shoot off the move, off the screen, off the bounce? Or is he a spot-up shooter? Stats aren't going to tell you stuff like that, Like, and one other example, I gotta call Russell Westbrook out here on this one. The advanced stats say of all the MVP candidates, and I would say there were 4, was the better defender of the 4. Let's all be honest here. He's not a better defender than Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I completely agree.
And I would say of the 4, he's probably like Harden made a big improvement this year defensively. But the stats, and I think a lot of the reasons the advanced stats on Westbrook were there. Roberson, when he's on the floor, the Thunder are the 4th best defensive team in the league. That's going to help Russell Westbrook's advanced stats.
And I think that's what this is what I see. I feel like Russell has to do so much everywhere else that when we have people like Dre out there for defense, Russell lags. I know he lagged.
You saw when they played the Warriors when Curry was running around like a chicken with his head cut off and Westbrook was just standing there and Curry gets a wide open 3. I'm sure you saw it.
I
memes on Twitter
don't want to talk about anything Golden State ever.
I'm right there with you.
Yes. I love it. I've got to get the both of you on at the same time when Byron's on, because it will be, and I will make sure it's just you 2 and Byron, so it can be a Bash Golden State session. And of course, I will be the one lone Golden State defender. But until then,
I'll have to show you my my viral tweet, my tweet that went viral whenever Kevin came back the first time. I'll tag you in it on Twitter. It's pretty good.
I can't wait.
Yes, follow.
Yes.
That is going to wrap it up for tonight. Like I said, I'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. I got someone new coming on. I believe he said he's able to, but we'll have Mike Morris back tomorrow. So that should be good. If I can get him to talk about Jimmy Butler and Marcus Smart, I will. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he'll want to go there, but I'll see if I can get it. But until tomorrow, we will see y'all later.